do you ever worry about the players on the field, like the glare from the sun bouncing off of JJ's diamonds? Justin Jefferson's diamonds.
I thought you were going to say my head.
The big pointers get in everybody's eyes, like a big situation.
You know what's so funny is my first year here, somebody filmed the play and put it on the internet, and and I'm like, man, we're not going to be able to run that play against the Packers, blah, blah, blah. We run the play against the Packers. He's wide open, and he ends up, his foot comes down on the chalk. It's incomplete, but his chain popped off for the first time. I'm like, well, somebody go grab the chain. The thing was shining from 60 yards away. I'm like, somebody go get that chain.
You got me bent out of shape.
How'd you like that walk-up?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bent Out of Shape. We are here at Vikings training camp. I'm Anthony Barr.
I'm Eric Kendricks. It's a beautiful day. We got a really special guest before we get into things. Head coach Kevin O'Connell, KOC is what his nickname is.
Absolutely.
We're going to have him here joining us in a few, but at the same time, what's got you bent out of shape today, bro?
What has me bent out of shape? I was at a restaurant the other day with my fiance, and we had a server, a young lady, and she did a phenomenal job. I think she was new. You can tell this was like one of her first couple of days on the job, but she was attentive. She was doing her best. She got a couple things wrong, but I'm not one of those guys that's gonna chastise a server unless it's something super ridiculous. But the table next to me, there was a couple sitting down, and the man, they were a little older. The man was just giving this poor waitress such a hard time about everything and kind of not berating her, but being a little disrespectful to her. And it was just infuriating me. It took so much in me not to say something. And typically I'm not one to bite my tongue when I see disrespect to a certain degree. In a restaurant setting though, I feel like I don't want to cause a big scene or
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? But just seeing how people treat people that are serving them sometimes, it should be with the utmost respect, I think. And to see that little glimmer of disrespect, it had me bent out of shape.
Man, honestly, I can't agree, bro. I feel like I'm so chill and kind of understanding. I can always see where people are coming from for the most part. But when I see any ounce of disrespect, especially in a public setting, especially someone who's vulnerable,
right.
You know what I mean? That is when, if you want to see me turn up or, if you want to see me an Eric that you've probably never seen out of character,
yeah.
I will confront it head on. And, I find out that usually those kind of people who are super rude and, berating, like you said, they kind of cower when,
right. They don't like being told.
When they get confronted with the truth.
I totally agree.
It's
unacceptable in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's got me bent out of shape thinking about that, actually.
Well, what has you been out of shape other than that?
What has me bent out of shape is the fact that I get these text messages from my wife every time I leave town or, leave the house for a couple hours.
Okay.
And my kids decide to be perfect little angels until I'm out, until I'm gone.
Until the sheriff's off duty.
And then all of a sudden, food's being thrown, tantrums are being, thrown. A whole lot of whining going on, and I just don't, it just bends me out of shape, bends me the wrong way.
They see dad's gone. It's let's take advantage of mom a little bit. Let's have
shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. She's holding it down right now, but at the same time, she shouldn't have to deal with that. She shouldn't have to see their worst.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. Well, that's understandable. Well, we are here at Vikings training camp. It's a unbelievable day. I don't know if you guys can see, but
it's got a cool kind of breeze going, but you feel the warmth from the sun.
The sun is hitting hard. It's one of those days that makes you think man, Minnesota has great weather.
Bro, before I moved here, I was just I just thought for some reason it was gonna be farmland and cold weather, snow and stuff like that. I was
24/7.
This place is gonna
Alaska
be miserable,
or something.
Bro. When it's nice out here and you take advantage of the niceness, the lakes,
it's hard.
The weather, bro. There's really no better place to chill.
From I don't know, early May, and it's different every year, right? The timetable for the weather that has a mind of its own, but early May, late April, all the way through September, that's prime.
And when it starts getting a little chilly and you put that little hoodie on, but you can wear the
Still
shorts
comfy.
with the hoodie, and the leaves start changing, that's a special time too.
It is a special time, and it reminds me of when we were here, when we played here, being able to get out on a lake and hit some jet skis with the boys or hit a boat.
Yeah.
Go to a
Hit Big
lake.
Island.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think Big Lake.
Big Island? Big Island.
Big Island. Big Island.
Fact check.
Going to Big Island. Big Island is Hawaii. No.
The Big Island.
The Big Island.
You're
This is
cultured,
different.
bro. You just don't. It's just.
I've been around. But just hitting the lake with like the boys on a boat or on some jet skis, and then pulling up to like one of those like lakeside restaurants, those shoreside
Oh
restaurants.
yeah.
That's some of my favorite
But
times.
my
down here
favorite
in
was
Minnesota.
like in the springtime, like after practice, like getting a group of the guys together, having dinner at my place, and then just lime timing around town.
Oh, hitting the
hitting the lime
limes.
scooters, the bird scooters,
yeah.
and just going
Cobble
up and down the river walk, bro. That was electric, bro. That was good.
Absolutely, yeah. This and we got the state fair coming up, and I'm pretty disappointed we're not going to be in town for that. But state fair is like everything shuts down for the state fair between all the fried foods and the Martha's cookies and just like the different vendors that they have. It's a really good time.
It's a double-edged sword for me because I'm also disappointed that we're missing it, but at the same time I'm also happy that we're missing it because I'm trying to stay lean and mean right now. So at the same time,
It's not
good
a place to go if you want to be lean or mean.
It's good for my physique.
Okay,
But,
fair enough. Do you have a favorite state fair food that you can recall? Anything that you had tried there and just like, you know what, this is special? Or is it just your typical like fried Oreos or?
Everyone who knows me pretty well, they know that I tend to be a glizzy god every once in a while.
Gosh, it's a crazy way to put that.
So yeah, I mean,
Glizzy God?
glizzy goblin, every once in a while.
That might be worse. Go on, Glizzy Goblin.
The corn dogs are pretty solid. I can't lie.
Okay.
At the same time, I just like the vibe and like I hate to say funnel cake, like it's basic kind of thing.
Funnel cake
But
hits
like
hard.
the cookies, I need milk. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna keep it real. Like the cookies are good, but I need milk.
Yeah. To dunk or just like to finish it off.
Finish. And all the other foods,
Wash
it
it
seems
down.
like they're just cooking them to turn them out really quick. And besides glizzies, corn dogs, and funnel cakes, like those are the
handcrafted.
things. Those are the things I usually would only get at the fair or like a baseball game or something.
That's fair. I don't think I ever had the corn dogs from the state fair. I may have, but they have like maybe like a spicy pickle or something with a pickle. Maybe it's a fried pickle. Those I really enjoy.
You like pickles?
Yes, I like pickles. I like the fried pickles that they have are sensational.
So you're a pickle perpetrator,
Yeah,
pickle piper.
Peter Piper, Pick Pepper. You can call me that. That's fine. But yeah, I'm excited for the this upcoming interview. I think we get a glimpse into Kevin O'Connell, the person, a little bit. Obviously, he's dealing with a quarterback competition. Maybe not dealing with it, but he gets to enjoy a quarterback competition and gets to have his handprints all over this offense. And I'm excited to speak with him and see what his mindset is going into training camp.
Yeah, I mean, what a busy kind of hectic time for not only like the football team in itself, but like the head coach of the football team. You know what I mean? So like for him to join us, it's pretty special, and I'm grateful for it. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to like.
We got some good stuff for him.
We have some good stuff for him. I'm looking
some good
forward to
intel.
like maybe bringing his guard a little bit down, getting his
Right.
shoulders to relax, getting him comfortable.
Get those political answers out the
Yeah,
window.
I just want him to have fun with this. So that's what I'm looking forward to. He's a great guy, great coach. We all know this, but I'm looking forward to seeing who he's really about.
Next up, we got Kevin O'Connell.
Look, we can do this. We can get another chair.
That's all good, man.
We already got him,
man.
How you
We already
doing?
got him.
Thanks for joining
This
us.
has been so cool
What's
watching
up?
you guys do. Do you have to hold this up to your face?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know what
Pride.
to do with my hands.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Probably
You're giving me
best.
way too much credit right now.
So let's loosen you up a bit. You just finished walkthrough. We like to start our pod with a segment called Bent Out of Shape.
Okay.
So it could be like, you stubbing your toe on the bed, or let's say you order a burger with no tomatoes, and they put tomatoes on your burger.
Golly,
You know what I
those
mean?
are two good examples.
What is really gonna just have you just ball your fists and scream poopy stupid?
Well, it's crazy you say that because my daughter, for the better part of the last 2 years, that is her. Where did that come from, by the way? Did she hear it on your podcast?
I
that
have
she
no
snuck
idea.
on? But
No, not sure how we got
poopy
that
stupid
information.
is a popular phrase for my daughter, and she's 3, and it's her home run right now, her fastball right down the middle. But I would say, I would probably say. There's a couple things, right? And you start to do this job long enough, it's the things away from it, the simple things, right? Like, hey, it's been a grind, maybe depending on the year, definitely in season. You get home late on a Thursday night, maybe in December,
Sure.
Trash might be going out the next day, and all you asked is that just the trash cans are there when you pull in. Instead, I got a frozen driveway. I got to go get the trash cans. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to be parking in my garage, so I'm going to just sneak out of here from my office, get in my car, hopefully get home with, in one piece. And then I, risk my life getting 3 cans to the street. That would be one. The other one would be, I'm going dad mode, super excited. Got a dog about a year ago, a little more. And so excited. Maybe barefoot out there playing catch on a off day, enjoying this beautiful Minnesota weather, and then that dog mess wasn't cleaned up totally because we just found the barefoot stomp.
Who's at fault for that? Who's
well, the
whose
crazy
job
thing is
that?
I could be a finger pointer, a blamer. We could have the fear-based culture real quick. But I'm not going to give names, man. I'm not going to
Point within.
and do it, somehow, some way.
Man.
I realize no matter how
I don't know
my
if that qualifies.
No, that's great.
Absolutely.
I realize no matter
100%.
how my relationship goes, I will always be responsible for the trash in my relationship, no matter what. It'll always be either in a pile by the door, the recycling by the door, and the trash cans have to be brought in and taken out by me exclusively.
All the things you've accomplished in your life.
Right, Eric.
Both of you guys.
Well, KO, thanks for joining
Yeah,
us. We
it's great
appreciate
to
taking
be
some
with you
time.
guys.
We know camp has just started.
Yep.
You guys are just underway, and we know you have a quarterback battle going on. But I want to ask, what young guy, second, third year guy, do you see making the biggest leap this season?
Yeah.
And who do you have maybe the highest expectations for of a younger player?
Yeah, it's interesting because on our team right now, I think there's layers to it, right? You think of a guy like Jalen Redmond, who's kind of burst onto the scene, took a totally different, unique path to get into the NFL, via, being in and then going to a different league. And then he gets here, unbelievable development, unbelievable, like just exploding on the scene.
Great season last year.
And that's a guy who maybe doesn't feel like a young player, but he's still relatively early on in his journey. So he's one that hits to my mind. I think about Ty Felton is another guy that totally has been committed to the special teams role, and he's really in a situation now where you're starting to see all the work he does with Keenan. You guys know Keenan McCardell, one of the best in the league at doing what he does, and you see the explosiveness, you see his ability, to really let his dynamic talent start to show up, and he's showing up. I think even the rookie class, I highlighted some plays last night even with the team of a guy like Jake Golday.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking to 2 guys who know this more than anything.
Hearing good
It's
things
different
about
to
him.
play off the ball backer, and then all of a sudden,
Whole different
it's
eyes.
one thing to stem, and you used to do it all the time. You're
Sure.
off the ball, you end up stemming on the line, moving to the line as an edge player. But he's truly playing multiple positions, learning the ins and outs of them, and he's wild how he's seamlessly.
And that's impressive in a Brian Flores defense.
For
where you're asked
sure.
to do so many different things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
Chuck Demings jumps out to me at the corner spot, and then Max Bredesen is a guy that, C.J. Ham was here for how long and never got enough love and credit, and somehow, some way, we think we found a good little young fullback for us.
Speaking of run game, I feel like run game is the obvious complement to a good offense and to help the quarterback as well as a good defense. But what is another complement in a KOC style team that is underrated? What would you say is another compliment?
I would say, well, first and foremost, that's something we're really talking about a lot, and a lot of things since the season ended last year have been about really building out, opening up our run game to really be what we truly intended to be when we got here, where I fell short of making it look and feel the way we want it to, and I feel really strongly about the direction that we're going in with it. But I think about, how we talk about reading plays is another thing, and it's not just unique to this system. They do it similar, obviously, in LA, Jacksonville, different places around the league. But we talk a lot about voids and vacancies. We talk a lot about, if you're 2-on-1, a hook defender, a flat defender, who takes the progression away if it's not that player, normally takes you to your next progression. So it's simply a feet and eyes thing. In this day and age, as you guys know, instead of saying, hey, 3 deep over here, we're going to run this play, 2 deep over here. Well, there's plenty of snaps where you snap, you play the clip, and you might be, the ball's thrown, the clip is over, and you're hoping they don't ask you what the coverage was, because you're like, it could have been 3 hook, it could have been, quarters with the tricks, it could have been, a lot of the coverages and what you guys over your career talked about, especially being a part of that back 7 like you guys were. but it's just the unique way people are doing it, and then also the element of how we combat how people play Justin Jefferson is a whole different
100%.
space, and we have to try to do some things to help Justin because he's our best player, but at the same time how that can open up and free you as a quarterback to maybe attack some one-on-ones elsewhere.
Awesome. I want to talk about your relationship with Brian Flores for a second.
Yeah,
It sounds. I think in 2008 you guys briefly crossed paths in New England, and then when it was time to hire a DC 3 years ago, how did you know that he was your guy, and how was you guys' kind of relationship evolved over the last 3 seasons?
Yeah, I interviewed with Flo as, you put together these lists, and I've always had so much respect for him since the day when I was in New England. He was really just starting as a special teams kind of quality control coach, believe it or not.
Wow.
He had come over from the personnel side. So you're like, hey, who is this guy? And, he's not that old at the time. He's not, some guy but I just remember hearing the way coaches talked about him, how Bill, talked about him, and then watching his journey just grow from there. He becomes a head coach. And then we're fortunate enough to have the opportunity to hire him. And he was my first call back then in 2023. Spent a ton of time together through the interview process. But the best part about it is, there's a couple things, really. I love him, just the day-to-day. He's such a sounding board for me as a head coach, how we want to, try to work through scheduling, how we want to try to maximize things. Because I think sometimes you can get too close to everything, and you need those other voices, whether it's Nolan Teasley, our new GM, or Flo. Like, I'm really leaning on people to help me, be the best at my job for our team, and part of that is, having the humility to ask sometimes, what do you think?
For sure.
And he's come up with some unbelievable things, off the field and just within our building to do some things. But then schematically, the way he looks at the game, the way him and I, we meet on Tuesdays for an hour every week during the season. And he goes through the game plan. He'll have clips that he wants me to watch to say, what do you think this is? What do you think would happen if we did this? And that's some of the most fun times that I have all week.
I think that's a great balance when you have, like, the communication with your staff, and not only, like, you have collaborative effort, but it's like you have to know when to make that call as well yourself, and then but also, like, when to reach out, when to collaborate. I think that's a very underrated skill.
And I'll tell you this, there's times where he'll say, man, that's your call.
Yeah.
Like, and
Defers.
It's that balance where, he knows I trust him. He knows that I'm so fortunate, and I feel so fortunate to have him here. But at the same time, he's very, very good, basically as the head coach of that defense, and how he runs that room. And there's just a lot of really good things that come. And I think the proof is in the way the players that play for him talk about him.
And the results on Sunday have spoken for themselves in the last couple of years.
And speaking of him saying it's your call, I know Anthony's has, and I know I have had plays where we want them back. I have a pick that I dropped versus Eli Manning that I just think about all the time. Is there any play calls or, like, timeouts or challenges that you lose a little sleep, like, man, I wish I could have done that, I wish I could have did this, that you could think of off the top of your head?
Oh, for sure.
Like, it could be small, it could be big.
How much time do we have?
I always remember the bad stuff. Like, the bad stuff sticks with us much longer.
What's like a quirky one, like, or maybe when you played?
Well, I referenced this to the team the other day. You don't want to, you're training camp and you're moving forward, but, even in 2022, I don't know if you remember this, EK, Giants playoff game, there's, whether it's the last play of the game where we didn't convert a third down and that ended the game, you're always thinking about those plays, but it goes back further. For me, the previous drive, when we had a chance to put 7 on the board, we got 4th and short, we go for it, and, we run a quarterback sneak, we get it, but we went on a hard count. And did I do it? Hey, in that moment, should I have controlled the cadence? Should I have made sure that, hey, we're going to get this 5, 6, 7 inches, whatever it is, regardless of the count? But, Dexter Lawrence is always there, and the big fellas in there. So, hey, let's see if we can get him to jump. And we just get a little flinch. We go back 5. We kick the field goal. And then they go down and score. And then, so you remember those ones. There's definitely other ones. You talk about the challenges. Those ones irk you because it's not only just the decision to do it. It's, it's the opponent, and
you only have a certain amount of time too.
Creeping into your head of, like, okay,
there's a lot of input on
this
those.
team, they want them to win. It's not. It's none of that. And then you remember the officials, man. I love those officials.
So
much.
let's move from the field to maybe some more leisurely activities. You can't be a football coach 24/7. You can't be a dad 24/7. We know you're a golfer to an extent.
Yeah.
We know you played at the Century Championship in Tahoe.
Yep.
Looks like day one you shot a 106.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. Day one, I shot in the 90s.
Okay.
I actually was cruising along.
Okay.
I doubled the last 5 holes.
What was working that day?
For most of the morning, it was an early tee time. Most of the morning, I didn't lose any balls. Like
That's
I'm not
good.
one of those.
That's a good
I'm
sign.
not one of those
As far as I'm
golfers
concerned, that's a
that
dub.
I'm trying to keep. On Sunday, I played the same ball from start to finish.
That's a
and
win.
Played, my best probably that day. But I'll say this: playing golf, like in front of people with the chance to hit people, and
different
then
out there.
there was my goal going into it, regardless of score, anything, was just to not hit anybody, and I somehow
Accomplished
got
that.
through the 3 days without doing that. But it's an unbelievable event. And then I got to cap off the summer playing with Scottie Scheffler in
that's
the
right. How was that?
3M, which was unbelievable. I actually played pretty well that day, and he
There we
was
go.
as
There we
good
go.
of a golfer as he is. He's even a better guy. Like
Did
you
he-
guys
did
got
he
to
elevate your game?
That makes it all worth
Oh,
it.
Do you think he elevated your game when you were out there
So
with him?
you guys play. I know
Yeah.
you play a little bit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm playing with Scottie Scheffler. I'm gonna just hit some 3-woods off the tee and just kind of be part of the. So
That's
the
smart,
first couple
yeah.
holes, I hit 3-wood. He comes up to me on the 3rd hole, and he's like, "Hey, bro, would you hit your driver? It's a shamble, which basically is you're playing your own ball, but you get to pick the best drive." And he's like, "Dude, hit it as far as you can, and we'll go find it."
I'll take care of the rest.
And he literally, I hit one right, and he's walking over there, like, it's right over there. I'm like, dude, this guy's
They
like
probably
the
find
number
balls
one,
so good.
number one golfer in the world.
That's
Well, they
awesome.
don't, because normally it's right. It's not hard to find when it's right in the,
You're right.
in the middle.
fairway. But that was so I the number one reason why I love playing golf so much is my 11-year-old is a good little golfer.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Where
That's fun.
else do you get to spend 4 hours? No
Yeah.
TV, no iPad, no
Right.
anything.
Locked in.
And he's just out there, and we get to just shoot the stuff in the cart for 4 hours, and it's the best.
That's amazing.
So your pops was an FBI agent. So we were kind of wondering if this is kind of just a special operation for
It is.
yourself.
Yeah.
Or- yeah.
You're in
No.
disguise.
But all seriousness, like what values and what you obviously have had mentors growing up. What values would you say that you've learned from a guy like your father?
Well, first and foremost, sacrifice, for the greater good of not only our family, but for others. Like he genuinely, there's moments in time throughout his career where, either, something that happened that, maybe he felt like they could have done a little more, or the times where he was away from our family a lot. It mirrors, not in totality, but because the work we do here, it is not as important as the work that people do to protect and serve and help us. But just watching him, I remember vividly, he would go away or be away for, a certain amount of time, or maybe 2 or 3 nights. And when he'd come home, he was so present, and he was so much of a dad that it really mirrors these times where you haven't slept in 3 or 4 days. You go home at the end of the week and the kids got nothing but energy and they want to play, and all they want to do is sit on the couch and kind of take a deep breath. I remember those moments and think about, I better get my butt up and be dad right now. And he was a great example, great example for me. I'm glad you asked.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, I'm a father now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to me
It's
now.
on.
It's very, like you said, intention behind how I spend my time with my kids. It's a beautiful thing for sure.
Even how you say things.
Oh, 100%. They pick
No,
up
I didn't say
everything.
poopy stupid, but I'm sure she got something from me, and
Okay, we're wrapping up here. We want to end with a quick segment that we do called Quick Hitters.
Yep.
We're going to ask you about 3, 4, 5 questions, and you can just give us a one-word answer. If you want to dive into a little more, you can. So
Okay.
The first one I have for you: California burrito or burger and fries?
Oh, golly. I'm going to say California burrito, but I love burger. I mean, for me, that is like that will be the hardest question I answer over the next 3 or 4 weeks by far.
And you can't give you. I mean,
Can't go wrong.
I don't want to throw shade at
I
Minnesota.
mean, you guys
but like,
both know.
I can't throw shade at Minnesota, but I can't get my burrito taco fix out here.
No.
Like the
Oh,
same.
well,
the same.
I've searched far and wide. I got a couple spots.
Okay, okay.
I don't want to single anybody out for sponsorship purposes,
for
but
sure.
but yeah, it's not the same for sure.
What's your favorite Marvel film?
I would say probably Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. My
Banger.
son's just gotten kind of old enough to start, getting into all those things. It's long, but it's fantastic.
It's a good watch.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Jurassic Park or Shawshank Redemption?
Shawshank.
Shawshank.
Yeah, Shawshank
No-brainer.
Redemption for sure. Even though it's not quite burger and fries versus the California burrito, but it's close because I love me. Like, guys will laugh at me sometimes. We win a game, we got a 4 or 5 hour flight back. I'll watch the tape. In the last hour and a half, I'm probably hitting a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, just to, totally. But yeah, but no, Shawshank for sure.
What's the most Minnesota thing you've done? I mean, we got ice fishing, we got Juicy Lucy's, we got lake jet skis maybe.
Yeah, I would say, on Memorial Day this year, I decided to rent a pontoon boat.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and the family, and I am by no means a boat captain by any stretch. And thinking, oh, dude, we're just going to go out on the lake. It'll be a nice, easy day. We were 5 minutes into that thing, and there's boats every left, right, all around us. I mean, we got waves coming over the front. I'm making sure all my kids are still on the boat.
The orange flag.
It felt Minnesota to me. I just didn't execute. I didn't execute well.
Did you park the boat at the end? How'd you do parking?
Kinda. Well, there's a guy waiting, and you just kind of get it near.
Take the wheel, sir, please.
But I would say ice fishing. Twice now I've had ice fishing planned, and either the weather didn't cooperate or it fell through. So that's definitely the next thing for sure.
Okay, JJ McCarthy or Kyler? Just kidding. Don't answer that. Don't answer.
Like I said, the hardest question I'll get asked today is California burrito.
In all seriousness, how are those guys doing so far in camp? And just give us a brief synopsis.
Yeah, you know what? They're doing great. This really started at the end of last season. We said we wanted to, have a competitive situation to help elevate not only the ceiling of our quarterback room, but also the floor. So it's the room in general. We really feel like if we can allow the competition, that's not going to go on forever. We want to make sure we give our team clarity. You guys know, as players, you're going to want to have that as a team and that player to prepare them for the season. But these guys are competing. They're playing against a scheme every day that there's no breathers out there for them. And what it is it just makes sure that there's no letdown. And I wouldn't even call it stressful environment as much as competitive environment, because you guys know what a Sunday in the National Football League is, and week in and week out, the competitive stamina for 17 plus weeks, what's made you guys such great players. You guys know what that is, and it's for the quarterback position, it is a physical toll, but it's the mental toll. So we've got to try to, I believe in growth through being uncomfortable, and no better way to do that than being in a competition. It's made both guys, I think, better. It's probably fast-tracked, Kyler's adapting to our offense and us learning about him. And at the same time, we've got some inventory of information on JJ, things we think he does well, things he can improve on, and he's doing some of those things. So it's been positive. Our team's handled it great. We've got unbelievable players here. They know the direction we're going to go in. And I think the most important thing is my communication with not only the players, but the quarterbacks themselves. It's open, it's honest, and we have real-time daily feedback, and then hopefully you see improvement every single day. And once we have a comprehensive kind of idea of what we want to do, we're going to let the world know, and the Minnesota Vikings are going to go win games.
Sweet.
And last question, do you ever worry about the players in the field, like the glare from the sun bouncing off of JJ's diamonds? Justin Jefferson's diamonds.
I thought you were going to say my head.
His VVS's.
His job's causing me
big pointers getting in everybody's eyes, like a big situation. Is that never a concern?
What's so funny is my first year here, you probably remember, we practiced on like the third day in the stadium, and somebody filmed the play and put it on the internet, and and I'm like, man, we're not going to be able to run that play against the Packers, blah, blah, blah. We run the play against the Packers. He's wide open, and he ends up, his foot comes down on the chalk. It's incomplete, but his chain popped off for the first time. And your first game as a head coach, your nerves, you're so excited. But I saw that chain, and everything else was secondary. I'm like, well, somebody go grab the chain. The thing was shining from 60 yards away. I'm like, somebody go grab that chain.
We need the damn chain. I think it's one of my favorite things, with some of the football players. Like, obviously, everyone's going to have their own personality, but I love that they get to showcase it, not only with a player like him that just, balls out consistently.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us.
You guys
take some time today, man.
No, we appreciate it.
Season. Good luck the rest of camp.
Appreciate having you boys back around.
We'll talk to you soon.
For sure.
Man, huge shout out to Kevin O'Connell. That was real big for us, and I mean, what a great guy, what a great coach.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable conversation. I think all the guests that we had so far at camp have been thoughtful with their time and thoughtful with their answers. The Vikings are clearly in good hands with a great leader at the helm in KOC, and we're looking forward to a successful Minnesota Vikings season. That's it for us at Bent Out of Shape today. Please like, subscribe, follow the YouTube page, Bent Out of Shape Show, Instagram, all socials, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Who's got something left to say? You got me bent out of shape.